everything just slowly starts to change, where if I use the terminology that Paul Hederman uses, we start to travel lighter, just lighter. Everything gets lighter, the more we shed of this seeming me, the lighter we get, and rather than live in imagination, which is where we live, which is in the mind, we live, that's referred to as the dream. Rather than living in there, we start to live here, like just here. And it's pretty fucking amazing, given that this is all just bursting into existence, brand new and fresh now.
Yeah.
Just now.
I don't think mind could ever get its head around that.
No, it can't until there's a knowing of that fact that's not of mind.
Yes, there's that sense of, when there's just attention's just here, there's that the love and the lightness and the joy is here.
Yeah.
But I think when I hear you talk about the wonderment of the world and how everything's amazing, that doesn't seem to be what's experienced here. I think it's because it feels like they're just like fleeting moments still.
Okay, that's all right though.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, at least there's fleeting moments.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah.
God,
yeah, that's amazing that there are glimpses of that, and it also feels now like really this is all possible. That.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. I reckon for you, Donna, in all seriousness, I think all that needs to happen there now is just as much as possible, just an abiding here. Like a conscious abiding here.
Yeah.
Be conscious about it. Just abiding here and expecting nothing. That's the big thing. You're not after anything, not expecting anything, just being here. As often as you possibly, I know we've got work and we've got things that happen, but just as often as you possibly can, because it reveals itself in the just here. So you want to just be here because this is where it reveals itself. Yeah, it's just, honestly, I think that, I don't think there's any more that needs to be understood.
No.
I totally don't. For you, I think now it's just being here, sitting with the silence, sitting with the no thingness, just being, and with your senses wide open, all of your senses open, because they are in the absolute here, they're all on at the same time. That's why I go, whoa, that's why everything is so fuck. It's because they're all on. And we don't experience that as the seeming person. It can only go from one sense to the other. You can't experience them all open at the same time. And I can't even put into words what that is like, other than it's fucking awesome. It's just, it's just a rapture. It's like a rapture of ultimately, ultimately it's love. Ultimately it's love, and it's a love of being. That's our true nature, the love to be. Why is there all of this? Why has this all come about? Only for that reason, just simply the love to be. And we experience it as a seeming little person too, the love to be. We'll defend it, and you're like, I don't want to die. I want to be alive, and we'll defend it. Even animals will defend it. The light. A tree will defend it. A tree. If there's a fire that's encroaching on a forest, you'll find that the trees as much as they possibly can, they lean away from the heat. As much as they possibly can, they'll lean away. I'm sure if they could get up and move, they would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they can't. But they literally do move away from the heat.
Yeah, right.
To love to be, you know.
Yeah.
That's what this all is simply that. And you know, why is that so spectacular? It's because we're being everything. Nothing's left out. It's a love to be all, a love to be all, including thoughts and feelings in a body, and, you know, all of this out here that seems to be happening, and life that you described before, that this all is, that space is alive. Life in it. There's life everywhere. There's no place where there's not life, you know, no place. Even in outer space, in what they, which is supposedly a vacuum, there's life there. Life. Careful using
Aliveness.
the word life, but yeah, there's an energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an energy.
Yeah.
There's nowhere you can go where there's not an energy, like a vibration. There's nowhere you can go where that is not possible.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So I reckon for you, seriously, you're kind of at that point, I think, where, and it's only because they can, is where the monks will wander off into the forest. They'll get away from people. They'll get away from things. They just move away from anything that has the possible chance of stimulating a thought. They move away from it, and they just go and sit out in nature, away from everything, and they just sit. And all they're doing is abiding with just this. There's just a sitting with this, or a walking with it as well. Doesn't matter, you know. But often monks will just move away.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I've talked about it so much, about having my couple of weeks away, and I just haven't.
It'll happen.
It hasn't happened, but I've now got a place that I can go for a couple of weeks that's reasonably cheap and is in the middle of, still, you know, it's all quiet.
Yeah.
And Debbie and I are also going away for 3 days to that big fancy house. So, and that's in the middle of the forest. So there's a lot more movement towards it, but there is this pulling, this yearning to pull away from everything and just to be quiet. You know, really is there.
Yeah, and that just happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's been there for a while, and I had a little weekend. I did a weekend retreat where I just locked all the gates and just told everybody I'm not on this weekend.
Nice.
Closed off my phone, and just, it's amazing how time seems to slow down when you do that. When there's no TV and no computer and phone and everything. It's just like I'd be getting up late, and then by about 8 o'clock, I'm like, it's only 8 o'clock. What?
Yeah.
Is it only 7 p.m.? Is that all?
Yeah. You're right.
It seems to slow down.
Well, it does, actually.
Yeah.
It actually does, and until it's like, you know, that there's like sometimes for me, a day for me is like an eternity. It just seems to take so long for the clock to go tick. You know? Yeah. I'm talking about a second hand now, right? And tick. You know, it just, everything slows down. It does, you know, and it should. It should. There is no time. Yeah. Yet the sun will come up and it'll go down. Yeah, which will still give us the illusion of time. Like I'm still affected by the illusion of time, and it's only because it gets light and dark outside. There's nothing I can do about that. That just happens.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about it, you know. But yeah, it can take a long time to get through a minute, just a minute, a long time to get through a minute. And when we're super caught up in the imagination, time moves really fast there.
Yeah.
Really, really fast. You can't not. It's just, you know, there's always so much to do, you know, seemingly so much to do. There's not. The best thing that we could do is just sit still, don't do anything.
I did notice that towards the end of the, you know, say the second day or the halfway through the second day, there was a tendency to want to turn on some videos of yours and watch them.
Oh, yeah.
And I did a bit of that the second day, but I wonder whether I should have just left it off and
No, that's what happened. That was perfect. It was perfect.
Right.
Don't ever allow
Don't
this.
fight against it.
Yeah. Don't. Just, okay, this is what okay. And don't resist that.
Yeah.
If there's a movement towards popping a video on, you just do that.
Yeah.
With
What
zero.
about if there's what about if there's a movement to, like, you wanting to sit, but there's a movement to get up and start doing? I guess that's just what's happening, isn't it? So you just
So you don't resist that either. You just don't.
Yeah.
The trick is not to resist.
No, that's right.
In the non-resistance, you're present.
Yeah.
Seemingly watching doing happening.
Resistance is futile.
It is, says the Borgs. It is. Yeah, just watch. Just watch. Always just watching. Always just simply observing, because this that is observing is still. Dead still.
Yeah, that's really clear now.
And this that is observing doesn't think.
Yeah.
Doesn't criticize, has no opinion on anything. Zero. Just this. The only thing that seems to have an opinion or criticize or whatever is just the thinking. It's just thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, you're not that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, you know, and you're not doing it. So again, it doesn't matter. You know, it's just.
I guess it's just kind of clicked that any kind of resistance to doing, like thinking, well, I'm sitting and I may, should I or shouldn't I go and do something? It's just thought popping up.
That's all.
So it's not that helpful to sit and think about why that came up, or why should I or shouldn't I?
As well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll just be thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trick is non-resistance.
That's the resistance. The resistance is thought.
Yes.
Or thought is the resistance.
Yes. Only. That's the only place that arises.
Yeah.
Resistance is thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only place. Because in the absence of thoughts, there's no resistance. Interesting. The absence of thoughts, there's no resistance. Well, just sitting here, being, nothing else. All that's happening right here, right now, is just seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. Thoughts have gone into abeyance. Beautiful. Now there's just this. You just stay there. That's all. Like, that's all. Expecting nothing, though. So it's not like it's an exercise or anything like that. This is.
Any expectation would be another thought.
Yeah, that's all.
That's actually what's getting in the way.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's like it's all seen. And then somehow it's thoughts to still grab attention somehow.
That's all right. Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, does it? Because any thought about that would just be another thought.
Yep. Eventually, you know, you step out of here and arrive here. And there's a consolidation process that happens about being here. Consolidates, just consolidates. It's about the best word I can come up with. Yeah. And then eventually what happens is you then step back into the world again, but it's completely different. It's completely different. Step back into the world again.
Actually, that brings up something that I've noticed, and I think I know the answer to this. But what I've found is when attention is just here, attention really is here, and the rest of everything gets forgotten. And yet there's kind of a, well, I guess it's an expectation, but shouldn't there be, a focus on the wonderment? But actually, because when the focus is just here, it's very inward, and everything out there kind of disappears in a way.
Yeah. Yes.
But I think the answer is just to stay there.
Yes, it is.
Not worry about the outside for now. It's kind of what you just said, is that focus here, and eventually that will shift again.
Yes.
That's what I thought. That's probably what Terry will say.
Yeah.
I've heard you say it so often, I think.
Then there's the wonderment.
Yeah.
Go from here to here, back into the world again. But here is very different. What this is now formulating and creating and saying is very, very, very different to what it used to be. Very, very, very different. Just it becomes a tool. It literally becomes a tool. Now you're operating from just this where you actually are, and this just gets used as a tool.
Yeah.
Just a tool. It's no longer the master. And you're just here, and now you've got the 6 senses open. Not just 5, now you've got the 6. If that 6th sense wasn't open, I wouldn't be able to communicate like I do. This wouldn't happen like it does, because it's about communication, which is thoughts, verbalized thoughts. That's all. Yeah. And prior to this opening up, there's no way this would come out. Not at all. Not at all. There wasn't the knowing for it to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the knowing you mean too. You don't mean the knowing of a thought knowing.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's a very, very different.
So I've noticed now when I listen to stuff, I listen to you, and I've been tuning into another person as well a bit. It's like there's no mystery anymore. There's a knowing of what's being spoken about.
Yeah.
It's not mysterious anymore.
Yeah. And it's quite simple, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And when you say, how could we miss this? I'm like, shit, how do we miss this? In fact, we don't miss it, really. We just think we've missed it.
That's right.
Because there's a sense that this has been there all the time.
Excellent. You're dead right. We just think we miss it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. We actually just think we miss it, which creates a person that thinks it's missing it.
Yeah.
You can't miss this.
Oh, no. I can remember, years ago, over the years, thinking, I just really want to capture this moment. Like, I really like this moment. I'm going to capture it. And so what I do is just be absolute still and no thought. And what I realized now is that was just attention moving to here. It's like I would say I'm keeping taking a snapshot of this moment.
Yeah.
But it was, so it's never not been here, ever. Like,
you can't not be.
It's not even it, because it is. No. This is.
It's not an it.
No.
That would imply it was a thing.
Yeah.
If it was an it.
But I do see the difficulty with language now, like trying to express anything.
Yeah.
You can't express it.
No.
So it's like, that's what I say, nothing's a mystery anymore. Like when you talk about it, when you're talking about this whole thing, it's it's just known.
That's great though, isn't it?
It just it just feels so easy now and simple.
Yeah.
And I think, how was it so hard before? I don't understand.
That's the knowing. What you're experiencing is the knowing, the real knowing.
Yeah.
It's the knowing that's going.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I ever heard non-duality being spoken of, and it was that time that I first met Bob. Yeah. That knowing in me, when I was hearing him speak for the first time, there was a knowing in here going, yes, this is it. Like there was a knowing that knew. Yes. How did I know? I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like, remember the first time you ever heard someone speak about non-duality? Like there's obviously another knowing in there that draws us to it, because the truth is, if we were asked, what is it about what you just heard for the first time that is read, we wouldn't have been able to articulate it.
No.
No way.
Probably still can't.
I don't know. I don't know. There's just something is where we would go.
Yeah, I probably couldn't articulate it now.
Hard. It's
you
hard.
know? Yeah.
Hard. Unless it just happens.
Yeah.
Unless it just happens. It's.
I find whenever I've ever tried to talk to anybody about this, and I know you say don't talk to people, and occasionally, you hear someone say something and you think, talk about it, say something, but it comes out as, oh my God, it just sounds so stupid, and you just sound like it just
I know.
It doesn't even sound real when you say it.
I know. That's why I only speak to people about this that have been on the path.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a knowing in them that is hearing this.
Mm.
Yeah. It's not the person that hears this, as you know. Yeah. There's a knowing in there that is registering with this. And I'm always speaking to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what happens is, there's a trying to go to thought to explain stuff. And you can't. Like, I mean, you even as much as you're talking about it, and it is coming from there and it is resonating, anybody who's trying to understand it, as you say, who's coming from thought is not going to get it.
Correct.
Not going to get what you're talking about anyway. So Massa, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. I just leave it to,
those that show up. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I show up and others show up and talked about. And when I'm not doing that, I'm just here. And it's quiet. I'm literally just here and it's quiet.